Alright, welcome. This is another breakdown of Star Wars the Solo movie. This is the scene where basically they're doing a heist escape, and this is the one that before it was blocked, I was able to show it on Orlock 425 before I had to move it, and then it was blocked. So I'm going to show a breakdown. This is another commentary one to see how the audience think in my opinions about the scene and basically how the shots could have worked better on some of them, not all of them, and shots that did look good. And so this is basically my own thoughts how the scene actually would have went down and how it could have been much better. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Again, I'm not only going to show negatives, I want to show positives, so that's why we can have a good situation. So you could see I'm already looking at this, right, in my own opinion. I like how they came in, everything's going out of control as they're carrying everything. You can tell everyone's like jumping and furious. And then they do a really good shot at, the far opinions, how everything's going crazy and everything's losing their minds. You could tell it's smoky. They wanted to make it smoky just so they can get the person to come through. I would probably say maybe dim down a little bit of the smoke so it's not too much. It looks like there's a fire instead. They do a shot where it's like they're carrying thing, which is pretty neat. I think they did a good job there. You could tell they're kind of blurred out just so they can get more shots into the other side. They let them know, and that's when they get this shot of them getting closer. Now that it looks like a little bit of a better shot, showing that actually more like into them, which is kind of cool. Getting through them. They're all focusing on shooting each other and basically how everything's working, and skips to Chewie moving. That I kind of did not like because it did kind of like prevented to see. I would have go into the other side so you could see him just running towards them, because if you kind of block it with some object there, let's go back to that scene, what I'm talking about. See, you're blocking it with all this stuff and audience is already confused, like wait, where'd he go? Like they're kind of lost before revealing where he's at, and they had to do like a turn shot, which works, but sometimes if you have them way in the left, you kind of have the audience looking in the middle instead of the actual person, which kind of puts it down a little bit. See, like this shot they do a close up after a far away shot. So they did like a medium long shot, then they do like a medium shot of just the person or the robot, basically. Forgive myself. Of just throwing freedom and doing the whole scene, which is kind of cool. And I like how they put the outside, like getting the whole outside perspective of this. Like if you're gonna do an outside perspective, I would go with something like that, just so that way you can see what's going on in the outfield, which is pretty impressive. And then they cut it to the inside, just so they can get it down in there and get it as fast as possible. Now, this scene is having more positive than negative because I'm seeing a lot of good shots that they're doing. Yeah, you could tell the robot got shot. That kind of sucks. The only thing I did not like, if you go back to it, is you have all this background stuff going on and all this like. Remember though, if you kind of reminds me of one of those like if you've seen one of those scenes where it's like you're looking at an object and then all of a sudden you see like a lot of background, or you went to a movie theater and seen a video from just the latest YouTube video and you see like this background stuff like in the way of just looking at the, or you're just watching a a piracy movie and this is basically just out strictly from a theater, and then you just see the shadow among the bottom, like you just want to get rid of that. That's what this scene feels like, is one of those that just like completely in the way from seeing the whole picture here, because I know there's a lot of things going on, but I would just tell them to like not do that too many times, because then it gets kind of frustrating, makes the audience lose their mind. Like, I want to see what's going on. I don't want to be blocked by this weird intruder that's in my viewpoint. So that's why I think they could, done better, just have less of that. Each of these shots are looking much groovy. You could tell that you're getting the right focus, right on cue. It looks, if you could tell, let's go back. If you can tell by just looking at this shot, it looks like they're doing like a GoPro, because this looks like a moving shot, or someone's using a camera and getting like a fast rate of this, because this looks pretty interesting just by going back and forth how they did that shot. That was pretty impressive. I gotta put that as a golden star, how impressive they did on that one. Very good right there. Then they get a shot of Chewie. Now that was pretty neat, how you see their form relationships. And then you see him coming, Chewie, to save the day. Everyone else is still getting shot around. This is always, they always do that scene. Watch, let's go back before I wrap this. They always do this scene where it's like everyone's coming in to the main area, because they did that in many Star Wars, where everyone's shooting, try to take cover while the other ones are trying to board the ship. So I've seen that in many Star Wars movies. I think it's time they do a change a little bit. Like, for instance, if you've seen the sequel trilogy, which were pretty bad, they did a little bit of change where instead of like having this all the time, where one's shooting, the other ones are all boarding on the ship, they instead did like a little like quick jump to the ship, to something like just going fast as possible into the ship, which is a little bit much better. And if you've seen Star Wars Rebels, they did it a lot too, where it just had a person just jump to the ship instead, which was pretty fast and quick, which I think would have been better, because this is kind of too outdated, and that's why everything's like a little bit down. But other than that, yeah, this has not that much problems. The only issues I'm seeing are just a few fixes and then and there. But rather than that, it impressed me. So this scene, I'll probably give a 9 out of 10. It did give me a better view of what's going on and speculating. There are little mistakes then and there, but rather than that, everything looks completely fine. And I think it did a good job to impress me. So that's going to be it for this one. Hope you like this one. And I'll see you on another video from your Zero Pow, Jimmy Pablo. Bye-bye.